Hello everyone, welcome back to the rationalinvestor.com's daily brief video. While our show director producer is MIA right now, we're just going to do a hack job here with these videos. No fancy intros or anything. It's kind of a fun day. Of course, everybody in crypto land is probably completely obsessed with Bitcoin, of course, making new highs there. So I hope you're all enjoying that. I don't know whether it's a good idea to get too wrapped up in the frivolity of this. You know, the worst part about it is, from my perspective, I'm starting to hear a lot of this time it's different, and all the technical analysis doesn't matter. Just buy and you'll get rich. So I don't even know whether any of you are even going to listen to anything that I say of reason here. I think the most important thing about managing money and making money from trading is to try and follow some sort of process, try and follow some sort of logic behind how you act in the marketplace. And I can tell you from 30 plus years working in this business, coming in on the buy side here is just asking for trouble. Having said that, you do with what you're going to do with your money. There's no sense of me getting excited about it. Hell, I can't even get my business partners, well, one business partner to act responsibly with his money. So how on earth am I going to talk to the public and get you guys? Interesting. Right off the bat, we've got no sound from Omar, so I'm sitting here just talking to myself, I guess. Shows that the microphone's working, so I'm not quite sure what's going. Megan Sand says sound is fine. So Omar, maybe you need to turn on your audio. I don't know. This will be our 10-15 minute broadcast. Good part about it is Tuesdays, we have TRI CTO on the call. And I suppose just an update for anybody who was trading with the breadth indicator. We have found some logic errors in the actual scripting and the coding. And Sjord is just going through piece by piece by piece, trying to figure out where the bug is. So at least we're addressing that. Obviously I wasn't going to address it while I was on the road. So I had to come back and get back into the rhythm of meetings and screen sharing and what are we gonna do, debugging, all that kind of crap. So anyway, we're on top of that now, so that's encouraging. I don't think that this is actually an accurate picture. I think, unfortunately, the algo got a little bit of a bug there about a month or two ago, and we have to figure out where the damage was done. Having said that, we should have Chris on the call here. It is Tuesday, Pentacook Tuesday. I don't know what we want to call it these days. And if anything, it's great to see from Sjord's perspective the portfolio that he's running in crypto. We'll get an update on it being reported on the site. He did take it down, so I wouldn't mind sort of getting an update from him as to what's the status of the FA portfolio. So we should get a report on that as well. But interestingly enough, TRI actually itself does have quite a bit of this Luna. Poor old Sjord. Where's the? I guess the best place to show you this. Poor old Sjord, of course, did kind of fall in love with that story last cycle. We were pretty heavy in it, and unfortunately, when Luna fell apart, we had to take a bit of a punch in the nose on that. But if anything, the one good part about crypto, and I've said this before, is I actually wouldn't be surprised if we just sit and do nothing, that the Luna story actually sort of corrects itself, and by the time we're back at the top of the market to this coming cycle, this silly thing's right back up top. I mean, I don't know whether it can go back up to the old highs, but I wouldn't be surprised. There's kind of a fun chart I wanted to show you about, but unfortunately kind of don't have my head on straight here since I got back, and we're having to deal with the video issues here, so that's all frazzled me. And then, of course, I'm trying to figure out how the hell DeFi works and moving coins around and stuff like that. Oh my goodness, what a headache. So, ironically enough, when the market is moving up, that's when you have to be most busy doing transactions. So I've been pretty busy trying to figure out how to sell stuff and take profits. But anyway. So here's that Luna chart. And interesting now, we're actually threatening to spit out weekly W's on this asset. So that's encouraging. It does imply that, I would say at the very least, this is the range from when it last sort of its last hurrah before it really started to melt down there in earnest back sort of middle to the end of 2022. And of course, you all know wicks and tails like to be eaten. We all know where these people are sleeping right now. And we always say candle body highs for trade location. So with that said, there's quite a bit of room for this thing to move to the upside. If it can get its act together, we'll see. I mean, I think this is more just a pure technical play. You can see fog and bombs. It's probably like a 50% retracement of this. But my hunch is if we do actually get up into here, this level right up here, this candle body close level is probably going to be the magnet that the market's sucked up towards. And if it can get its act together and all hell breaks loose, well, geez, you can see this huge wick in here. That takes us all the way up to $25. And I doubt it. My hunch is probably this thing, at best rallies up into these levels. But you never know. I mean, it's a crazy world. If we can clear through that 25, they've got their act together. Things are sort of back in business, whatever. Keep in mind, Mr. Novogratz still has that big tattoo on his arm. And I would imagine he wants to make right by this thing. So who knows? By the time we reach the fall of 2025, you might just find that we're right back up top. I wouldn't bet on it, but stranger things have happened. What I would bet on, though, is I definitely think that there's quite a bit of play up in here. So if you did have some of the Luna coins, and we'll get a further update report from Sjord in the after party about this, but it's encouraging to see that that story is trying to get back on its feet. As for the broader market, I'd be a little bit weary here. Of course, you've heard me barking lots about halvening events, and I'd love to talk to you off of the platform right now, but I just don't think it's a good idea to use the information right here now on this. It's just not good. So I guess we'll just talk a little bit about just the broader market. Let's see, do I have it over here? There we go. So always want to start our analysis with the US dollar index and really can kind of tell you the tone of the market. Still think we're working this megaphone, which does mean, and you can kind of see A to B, C to D. Are we going to start probing back down against our lows? Remember I did this demo trade for you about 6-8 months or so ago. This A, B, C, D. That was the bullish bot setup that had us go long off of this breakout here. You can see where the little trade signal was. I took partial profits on the actual A, B, C, D level getting hit. And we just moved our stop to scratch on the remaining. And, just let's see where the hell the wind blows us. So in the short term, if anything, looking at this to me, it was trying to spit out a bullish continuation pattern, taking us, what I would think, back up to the top of the megaphone here. And I think that was predicated on the inflationary pressure being strong and the U.S. having to continue to have high interest rates and maybe even increasing interest rates. That's would drive demand for U.S. dollars. But in a weird sort of way, actually, too, we are transitioning into a market state where the US dollar index will rally because it is growing much stronger, much better, much faster than the rest of the world. And so people will buy US dollars to buy things like Microsoft and Amazon and stuff. So those are US dollar denominated assets. So you have to have US dollars if you want to buy those stocks. I don't know whether we're in that kind of environment just yet. I think we're still in the transition window. But anyway. point I guess I would just make here is, this is basically a toss of the coin, and this is a trader's life. If the bullish bot scenario is correct, then you want to be long from this 25 level, looking for a stab up top. If it's incorrect, then you get stopped out on a move through these lows. And we probably could even start mapping out like bearish bots, taking us back down to the original entry on this. So why is the US dollar coming off here today? It's kind of a mixed bag when it came to Econs here first thing this morning. So we had global composite, S&P global composite, PMI. I mean, geez, there's so many of these damn names for these things. PMI stands for Purchasing Managers Index. So this is all supposed to be about sort of manufacturing and stuff. It actually came in slightly better than expected. So you can't make the argument that the Americans can cut rates in the face of that. Economy's actually doing a little bit better, but you can see, the previous report for the factory production and orders month over month was just a slight negative. The consensus on the street was looking for minus 2.5. Forecast was for the market to completely fall out of bed. Well, came in sort of midpoint between those two, minus 3.6. So you can't really make the argument that the Fed can aggressively raise interest rates in the face of that. So we're kind of sort of in a, this might even be a kind of a scenario where, not too hot, not too cold, sort of just right. And you see the Fed just sort of say, you know what, we're just we'll watch the inflation data. Remember that inflation data, things like the core rate and stuff like that came in a little bit stronger than anticipated off things like their personal consumption expenditure, the PCE kind of data that the Fed likes to watch. So I don't think you're really getting an overly bullish or overly bearish, a little bit of both in the data today. And so as a result, I think you got just sort of a market that's kind of like, I don't know which way to go. Which way do we want to go? Hey, who's got a coin? Let's flip a coin. How about a Bitcoin? We'll flip one of those. So I think that's the sort of backdrop. And then if we, try to move to the stock market and go, okay, well, what the hell is the stock market doing in the face of that? I get the impression that the market's actually running out of steam here. You could make the argument that it was just way too far, way too fast. And actually what was interesting is, of course, I'm watching the ICT guys set up here. It was actually a really nice short that came in yesterday. I have no idea if I'm doing it the way he teaches all of his people to do it, but this is pretty basic stuff. Market structure was broken. I think he likes to call that the market structure shift. We're making W's and then boom, 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 smash through those. Is it this low that you work with? Is it this low? I'll leave that up to you. Anyway, market breaks, counter trend rally, tagged Mountain Man perfectly there. And I notice a lot in these ICT setups, if you kind of think of that as your fair value gap or whatever. This range here, I've seen repeatedly that these rallies stall out at 61.8. So I think that was actually a pretty darn good looking short there yesterday. And you tell me, was that the correct thinking in the market, eh? Kaboom! So I think on balance, things maybe getting a little bit too far, too fast in the stock market. If we just want to look at like a bigger picture, sort of higher time frame kind of, what the hell's going on here, like on a daily basis? Let's get rid of all this stuff. Maybe I'll just put this back the way it normally is. Let's go, but that should work. Yeah, there we go. So, I mean, you can see the raw momentum of the market is waning here. Really problematic. You got that big M there staring us in the face. So that's problematic. That's and keep in mind, I mean, this silly market has gone from like, extreme to extreme. Remember, this was an eclipse event right there in October. Remember, we also talked about how that this was the whole market manipulation, the central planners and all those bastards, they're total crooked. I mean, you think we live in a free market society? Yeah, right. Have you seen China? What a joke. So anyway, and hilarious. The Chinese actually came out and said, we're going to grow our economy at 5.5% this year, and we're going to have maximum employment, and we're going to have price stability. It's like, what world are you living in, you stupid communist dictator idiots? I mean, they don't even respect what the hell they see happening in their society. Such a scam. Anyway, so that was our eclipse window. Well, we've shown you this plenty in good old Bitcoin. And we've got an eclipse window coming up here in the not too distant future, somewhere in this area. I think it's middle to the end of March, something like that. So really, I would not be surprised if this thing hummers around here, and then once we hit the eclipse window, then we actually have to start going into correction mode. And anybody looking at this chart, you should look at it and say, you know, Mr. W.D. Gann would say that in probably about half of the time of whatever this rally window is, and Mr. Gann absolutely loved these celestial event things. It's just, you know, in fact, this is probably exactly 6 months. I wouldn't be surprised if we hit this 50% level and probably exactly 50% of whatever this rally window was. So, you know, anybody who's sort of thinking that this just will keep going on endlessly forever, you know, I don't know whether we have trade location. Probably make the argument if we went A to B, and I've shown you things like Alt AB equals CDs. They're great tools to call tops, and I think Bitcoin just hit a 1.272 Alt ABCD and just stopped in its tracks. But if we're going to do the bot kind of idea, I don't think this is a bot trade, but it's the easy way for you to see this visually. And I'll throw on the Alt ABCD numbers. Boom. All right. Of course, they're always backwards. So reverse. There we go. So, oh yeah, what a surprise. Just like Bitcoin, I would make the argument that we probably need to tag this 1.272 here. And then we'll start reversing and correcting this. And I wouldn't even be surprised if that has to happen through that eclipse window. So I suppose, and I had mentioned this with Bitcoin when we'll get to that in a second, if we ever do actually tag 1.618 of these Alt ABCDs, this is an absolute no-brainer pivot level. But very, very rarely does that happen. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. But I wouldn't be surprised if our top's somewhere in here. And, you know, as we had sort of said there a moment ago, we do have the momentum indicators. We've got Willie stupidly overbought, so we don't have any business buying this market anyway. We've got the confirmed bearish momentum divergence. If anything, it almost looks like this is a bit of a MACD coil. And you guys have heard me talk about MACD coils in the past. Usually when these things coil like this, there's some sort of horrendous move. It goes wow, wow, like that, or it can do the exact opposite, wow, wow, like that. So believe it or not, this is what I'm expecting coming out. And if anything, that would make perfect sense because we'll get one more push up top here and then the dump, and that will be the push up that takes us to 1.272s. I like that thinking. At any given point in time, you can see this is, of course, our daily chart. This is the reason why I use these moving averages. You can see check of the 13, check of the 13, check of the 13, check of the 13, check of the 13. Well, that's all that's really happening right now is, yeah, we've got this smattering for tops. I don't know whether we're at trade location just yet. We have a potential empire, but frankly speaking, I'm not hearing enough to actually call a top. And, you know, once we do get that momentum divergence, you could argue that it's in place now. But what I really need to see to actually justify the short is a nice big fat M. So we're not quite there yet. This might be the beginnings, but, you know, considering where that 127 is and considering that that eclipse cycle is still a little bit ahead of us, I don't think we're quite there yet. So having said that, I'm just going to call this a down day. No real actual outright sell signals, but the writing's on the wall, folks. I mean, I don't know whether we're going to use this current high as our high. You know, this is the 127, assuming that we get up into there. But you can see where the 200 SMA is. There's the 50% level if we do top out at 127 of this range. So the writing's on the walls. I mean, this market's getting awfully rich. And then also, too, remember, you know, what are we supposed to do once we actually get into May here? So usually the market actually likes to top out and then dump into my birthday, something like that. So I don't know what's going to happen, but if I was in the sort of predicting business, I think it's probably going to look something like that. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. Finishing off this just this broader market commentary here. Obviously, you guys are all enamored with the corn right now. So here is that same ABCD pattern. Bot traders would have gone long off of this inverted head and shoulders. Bot objectives are basically the simple AB equals CD. I think that this profit objective has been hit. And if anything, really normal, we're now heading up into 1.272s. You can see how we rejected off of that pretty hard. And was that on a divergence? And it's fascinating because, you know, you hear people constantly saying, well, you know, this time it's different. This time it's different. I don't mean to be rude, folks, but actually this is exactly as it always is. Nothing's different here. You know, remember there was some doofus, I won't name names, he knows who he is, but I don't think he ever watches any of my shit anymore, where RSI went and put in a massive bearish divergence that last cycle, and the guy's like, oh, ignore technical analysis, just buy and you'll get rich. And of course, everybody got wiped out. So here we go again. So you can see, I talked to you guys about this the other day. I was like, I don't have any divergences yet, so I can't really start talking about calling tops. It looks like we are coming into some trade locations. Obviously, this is the old all-time high. And keep in mind, markets love to do this. They'll go up, they'll wash the old previous highs, liquidity hunts, and then we went after the stops, all that. I mean, it's just so cliche. So that's exactly what they've done here. You can see, I mean, anybody who has any brain when it comes to TA, are we supposed to be buyers when RSI is in overbought land, especially at like 80? Of course not. But of course, anybody who doesn't understand TA doesn't understand this. And if anything, when you see a first M come in on the RSI study, what are you supposed to think? We'll finish off the broadcast with this, because frankly speaking, I think this is an absolute perfect commentary of where we are in the market. So anybody, excellent, Adam. God, Adam, you're such a superhero. I hope you and you're giving Jimmy and Liz notes here. This is an excellent, very good Domingo. When you see that first M, that's not a sell signal, but that's if I'm a bull, I probably should just cool my jets. If you want to hop off and just say, look, I've taken some extra risk, maybe you bought this breakout here in ABCD, we've run into targets. Maybe you're like, well, if we do trade to all-time highs, I'm going to maybe just cool my jets. I mean, certainly I don't think it's a good idea to come in on the buy side. But point of the matter here is the divergences are starting to come in. We already know Willie's stupid, so you're not supposed to be a buyer while Willie's stupid anyway. And you can even see on this recent push higher here, the volume is waning. So we're starting to get volume divergences as well. So, if somebody tells you, this time it's different, I'd say, well, not really. It's actually just same old, same old. Nothing really special going on here. What I would say, and if anything, this is a good analogy. I suppose maybe that's a good, it petered out there. They always say, the what rises last? Who can finish that statement? So the fact that Luna's rallying here now, maybe that makes perfect sense. I will say though, and this has basically been a fun experiment for me. Here in this space, you can see, I mean, there's names that are putting in W's, at bottom ends of ranges, I'll come in and buy this shit every day of the week. I love these kind of trades. And you can see this guy's working up. If we get up into this level, I'll sell another half on a double and get another free trade. So I love buying charts that look like this. Love this. I'll do this every day. But I'm not going to buy when charts look like that. That's just asking for trouble. And, you know, these names, I mean, this is beautiful. Actually, I won't show you there. I'll show you it over here. Hey, look at that. Brian's banging out doubles. So, I mean, they're just coming in fast and furious now. Went and bought a whack of this guy down here. Bang, out goes half. I mean, so this kind of market, I sure hope you're paying yourself for your hard work, because that's what this is all about. And sadly, of course, what's the public doing? They're going to come in on the buy side here. And whether it be this bros, actually I've heard people talk positively about this, so I don't think there's anything wrong with playing these markets. Whether it be Bitcoin, whether it be Ethereum, it doesn't really matter. Whether it be the Luna, you just have to somehow train yourself to, I cannot buy when markets look like that. I've got to be selling. I've got to be taking profits. And, you know, I put a tweet out yesterday. Why do we play these silly piece of crap Schult coins? Well, this is why we do this. I bought this thing at, look at that, 12 cents. I also bought some in here. What's this one? 41 cents. The damn thing hit $4. I had to sell half on a double order at 224 working. That was basically in this area where I got filled. And then it went all the way up to $4.50. That's 10x off of these levels. And actually, if I was really on my game, and remember I was on vacation, so I wasn't really paying attention. But, you know, I mean, there's your W down in there. I can't see it. Oh, well. Anyway, kind of messy. But if I had been on my game and really firing on all cylinders, I would have been accumulating down through here. Kind of like that one that I just showed you that I was buying. But, you know, this is why we play this game. I mean, these are ridiculous percentage returns. You don't see that in the stock market. And yet this kind of stuff happens all the time in crypto. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, the whole point of this was, you know, the community gifted me $500 worth of this. And boom, now we've already doubled the account. So I'm sitting right now in this particular account on, where the hell's the cash? Does that not show it? I thought it did show it here. Anyway, and it's gone. Oh, I'm on page 2. That's why. There we are. So, hell, I'm sitting on over 200 bucks in cash right now. Just, you know, so basically half of the portfolio has now been converted to cash. So when all this crap starts coming right back down, you know, when this thing comes back down to earth, I'll take that cash and I'll go and buy back and just rinse and repeat. And this is exactly the same process. It's identical to what I did with, I don't know where the hell that silly Twitter page is. Oh, here it is over here. This is exactly the same thing as this. It's no different. It's just this cycle, I did it off of Trex and their phony baloney nonsense. And this cycle, I'm going to do it on this Solana. And I gotta, you know, gotta love people like Steven, who are like, Brian, let's do this on Solana. I know you can do it, so let's go have some fun. And, you know, it's just rinse and repeat. Just do the same old damn thing over and over and over and over. So, okay, looks like Sjord wants to be led into the call, and I've kind of screwed all this up. So, I'm not quite sure how I can do this. Where does it say? You know what? I'm going to end this video, and then we'll try and let you in, Sjord, if you are watching this. My word of advice for you, though, to the public is, you know, these accounts have now doubled in value. This is not the time to get uber bullish. This is the time to maybe pay yourself for all your hard work, you know, these kind of names, whatever it be. Maybe you bought the W on Luna. There's nothing wrong with that. But now's when you want to be paying yourself. And I mean, I can go name after name after name after name. In fact, it was funny. I've got all these damn things that have doubled and gone up into SHOD levels. This one actually went into a double of a double. And I've got to be selling. And of course, I got to do all this on DeFi, and it's such a headache. And what a headache. I'm actually kind of not interested in doing the whole DeFi thing. I'm just going to have some fun on this funny little Solana thing that I'm doing, and screw the rest of the other stuff. I don't know. Anyway, so point here is that this is now when you got to be paying yourself for your hard-earned efforts. It was impossible to get people to buy down here. Remember, get your shit together, all that kind of stuff. Nobody listens to me. You know, if anything, guys like Eddie, they listen to me, and of course, he's now probably sitting on a bazillion gazillion dollars. And a bunch of TRI people. I could name names, but I'll be here half an hour. The point I would make now is you don't get too sucked into the this time it's different. There's nothing really new going on here. And if anything, the closer we get to that eclipse window, the closer we get to 1 month prior to the halving event window. I even put out a tweet, and I haven't talked to you guys about this recently, but this is absolutely perfect. And yet the irony of it all is it's like nobody is talking about this in the marketplace. So where the hell is that? I'll finish off the video with this. I put a tweet out about Litecoin. Look at what Litecoin did through its halving event. Almost exactly a month prior to the halving event, it tops out, and this one had to come all the way right back down to its reload zone. And I hate to say it, folks, but I think that's what's going to happen with good old Bitcoin here. I mean, I'm kind of fingers crossed, hoping, that that's the futures, that we just do like 50% retracements. But I'd actually think it, on balance, it would be healthier for the space if we actually did a repeat of what Litecoin just did through its halving. And again, that's that image that I've been showing you this. Of course, I'm a little scatterbrained here, but where is that image? There it is. So we've hit 127. Is this the top? It could be. It could very well be. What I noticed on the daily charts, like I said, you've got the M's in RSI now. The RSI is telling you to cool your jets. Are you going to obey this? Are you going to listen to this? Probably not, but RSI is screaming at us. So anyway, it is what it is. Good luck to you. We'll head on over and have some fun in the after party and listen to what Stuart has to say about site development and, of course, his FA portfolio. And he's just absolutely killing it on his names. So if you're interested, pop on over and join this site. I think you can even do a 30-day trial if you want. And tune into our CTO, trading expert in crypto. And he's so good at this stuff. Every single day he's teaching me new stuff. Stuart, and the Pennacook report that we do on Tuesdays. All right. All the best. Hugs and kisses. The only thing left Brian to say to you good people is bye. Oh, Jesus, where the hell's the damn button? Which one is it? It's one of these windows. Oh, here it is. And bye for now. Toodaloo. Boom. I'm out of here.